girls team is from Eden, that's Technical High School in Pietermaritzburg. And each team won $100 and will present the region in March next year. We were just proud of what we are doing through our department and those who are responsible for sport. Honorable members, I'm having to share something with you, honorable members.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Hello.
Can you please adjust your video? We are only seeing your ceiling. We can't see your face.
And I see this ceiling.
Yes, now we can see you, Madam Chair.
Like this. Oh, thank you so. Honorable members, I want to notify the members the problem that I'm facing as the chairperson of the committee. This weekend, I have a lot of SMSs from Mr. Nyatela. In the second SMS, they started on Friday until yesterday. I tried to indicate to Mr. Nyatela that he must stop sending SMSs to me. Continued seemingly defying what I was asking. But in reality, honorable members, I'm putting to you, maybe in another meeting, that I'm having proposals to you, that because since some of us joined this committee before we merged as Sport and Arts and Culture, when we did join, in a way, we took it from other leaders who have been, for instance, chairing this committee. I can mention the members, Mr. Kompela, Ms. Sunduza, and Ms. Tom. If we can go and trace, they were having the same problem that today I'm still having as a chairperson, maybe as a committee. I would love to tell members that Mr. Nyatela forwarded the detailed complaint against the NAC. It was on the 12th October. And now it was for the responses were forwarded and circulated on the 24th and 25th of March. I had to trace in our own minutes, in our own correspondence. He complained again that the responses are not accurate. We are sitting here with the member of public, the member of South Africa. Whenever responses are getting to himself, he is not every now and then to be satisfied. And then the first complaint, Sarah, it went to the speaker. And then the speaker's letter he had sent to NAC in July 2021, which he claimed the NAC did not respond to the NAC. And then the NAC indicated that he responded and had sent him a letter of apology stipulated in the remedial actions by public protector. And then, honorable members, the complaint about the meeting of 27 May this is now the crack of the matter. In all of these emails that you were having, and even now in the SMS, that it was SMSs the whole of the weekend to me. Complained about the meeting of the 27th of May, where he alleges that the NAC presented false information to the committee. Whilst I'm saying that we must get time to discuss as a committee, because as a committee, how are we going to know that it was false reporting to us? He did not give any details. The detailed information he provided on the 12th of October, and the department submitted responses to the committee and was shared with members on the 25th. Mr. Nyatela wrote back and said that the NAC is still not being honest. Some of us who have been in the parliament, question times, and some members, correctly so, they were saying they are not satisfied, and you'll be always hearing the chairperson who's chairing saying that they know how to do if they are not satisfied. It is, I'm suspecting the best that the NAC and our department and public protector provided the committee with remedial actions and status of each of the 4 remedial to date, and whether all have been completed. But to one of the things, honorable members, I'm not taking it easy to be harassed by this member of the public. We were here in the last meeting, the detailed report that was given by both department and NAC, it was there. There was nothing that some of us were thinking that they are lacking and they are hiding. But to write such things to chairperson, accusing chairperson, I'm taking it very, very serious. I'm putting in the committee that all the responses from the department, from NAC, and the conclusion of our own meetings, I'll write it back with your permission to the speaker, to the House chairperson. And I would love that Mr. Nyatela, because he does get and listen to our meetings, that at least he must do away on harassing me. I'm not sure whether if it was a chairperson who's a male who's going to do this. I'm putting it as a gender sensitive issue, because if we are a chairperson of the committee, you're not chairperson of your family. But even if now I've said to himself, I don't want to take time because these SMS are with me, and the one that I've responded on the second one that he kept on doing this, I decided to say, please don't SMS to me anymore. And he responded even on that. And after that, about 4 SMS until midnight yesterday. I feel, honorable members, when I'm the chairperson, I'm chairperson of Parliament and chairperson of the Committee of Parliament. I don't that I deserve to be harassed by any member, even of my committee, even of the public. There are procedures that are set down, and those procedures, we do have correspondence, and we do get responses, but this member is not happy about all those responses. I'm not taking it very light, this thing, honorable members, and I will need a protection. Where do I get this protection from this honorable man who's keeping on harassing me? In a lighter note, I received it was Friday, a letter from NAC complaining about complaining about the responses or the questions and responses from Honorable Mhlongo. That one, I'm proposing, honorable members, that I will ask them to write it to the House Chairperson and Speaker. We cannot entertain, I cannot entertain as a chairperson. I don't know what to do when we're in a meeting and one member of amongst the invitees felt that one member didn't respect them, blah, blah, blah. I'm suspecting that one. I'm taking that. It's just for your information. I'll forward to the speaker and House Chairperson. Honorable members, I'm sorry to take your time. Let's go to the apologies. This one.
Chairperson.
Yes, honorable member.
May I suggest? Thank you for the introduction. May I suggest that we spend about 5 minutes on the topic of Mr. Njela, so that we give you the committee gets a mandate, gives you a mandate as to how to move forward on this matter. Chairperson, may I switch off my video?
Okay.
So Chairperson, thank you. If it is okay,
okay
with you, then I can continue.
Yeah. Please continue, honorable member.
Right. Thank you, Chairperson. I think there's two issues on the table here that is of importance. One is the member of the public, Mr. Njela. And I note your concern, and we've all been bombarded by the emails over time. All the committee members is aware of this challenge. Secondly, Chairperson, whilst we recognize participation from the public, which we must uphold, and we fought hard for this in a democratic space, we want to support you on the comment. If you raised intimidation or harassment from the public, then the committee must make a decision how to manage going forward. So I would, and I think that you might comment about the remedial action by the public protector, I think, which is important, and also that continue this weekend, as you stated, Chairperson. And I think I want to propose that the committee, you made a reference of another meeting, a possible meeting. So I want to propose that you get some legal opinion on this matter. We have a legal department that must guide this committee. That we get some legal opinion on. So we put it on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss the detail of the link between the NAC and the fact that the member of the public is not satisfied. So a legal opinion will help us with the intimidation and the harassment that you refer to. That's the one point, Chairperson. The other point that you raised, that you received a letter as a complaint of member Sepo, I would like to say I'm not aware of the content of that letter and what it entails. So I think whilst you want to refer to the to the speaker, I think we are, as members of this committee, needs to know what it is about, what the complaint is about, and I'm not too sure if it this stage you know the content of the letter, if it justify going to the speaker or whether the committee should deal with it. I'm just need to be guided by that. But I think the member itself must know about what is the content of that complaint. And maybe the member must then respond. That letter about the NAC that you refer to, the member should be entitled to respond to that letter as well. And then that response with the letter then should come to the committee or go to the speaker as you can direct us on that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you for the guidance, Honorable Member. I'm having the hand of Honorable Shongo, Honorable Mahlengosi, Honorable Van Dijk on that order, Honorable Members.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, colleagues. Chairperson, I want firstly to condemn any harassment of any South African citizen by any male or female. That one, it must be condemned. But one of the things that I wanted the committee to note that we tend to, as a committee, to take a blame. Mr. Nyathelo, on what I know on the emails, we don't respond to his emails. Let's be honest. Irrespective it's allegation, we don't respond. And I've written a letter to you in 2020 to say, respond to Babu Nyathela, because we getting emails is like the committee. He goes to Facebook, the committee. He goes to Twitter, this committee, because we don't respond. And I think it's upon us as you are our leader on behalf, acknowledge any emails that comes from any member of the community. Now, we failed on that we as a committee, we failed to respond to Babu Nyathela. And I think we gave him an opportunity in our meeting. We called NAC and Babu Nyathela. In that meeting, there were things that were supposed to be done. There's no follow-up that these things are done or not. The issues of apology, it was in our meeting that we decided that the NAC must apologize, and they did. But there are other issues, remedial actions. Are they done? Are they completely done? I think, and sometimes the department will respond instead of NAC responding to Babu Nyathela. Now, we've been having chains of emails regarding Saga, regarding Babu Nyathela. Now, the SMS we don't have, but what evidence that I have on my side, only on the emails, which is, I think any member or any citizen, any South African has a right to write to a chairperson to ask information or to raise any issue, as Babu Nyathela has written to us, because he always copy us in the emails that he has written. He requested details, evidence to be submitted. He told us about the Secretary of Parliament that he wrote to them. He wanted a report that was submitted to the department regarding the building and everything. Now, what I'm saying, Chair, there's a list of issues that we condemn them, if that's true. Now, Bengcela, my proposal is, since there are two sides of the story, let's have a meeting, Public Protector, Babu Nyathela, and the NAC. And then we take it from there. That is my proposal. On the other issue, I think my issue, I've just seen the email. And in future, I'll propose, if it's for noting, because the similar NAC wrote a letter with the chairperson against myself and against Obabu Madlingos, the chairperson. Now, this time the chairperson uses the acting CEO. I'm saying the chairperson uses. I'm quite clear why I'm saying that. I think these things will reveal itself that the chairperson of the NAC runs the NAC. I'm putting it to you, Chair, and I've been saying that in the committee. But nonetheless, I'll take, I've just seen it, I'll go into details and respond as so-called allegation. In future, Chair, if you circulate an email, it's now a public document. There's allegations against me. Even in the chairperson's allegation of the NAC before, similar process, circulate and it's quiet. I think we must call this CEO, the acting CEO, as we did with the chairperson, and I will respond, have a special meeting. Thank you very much. Chair, another issue that I wanted to raise since it's an opening, we don't have a schedule unless I'm not aware. We don't have a formal schedule which we've approved. After this meeting, it was a draft. I don't recall when did we approve the actual schedule of us. I think it must be noted on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mhlongo. Honorable Mahlingos.
Thank you, Chair. I'd love to greet everyone. Can I switch off this, Chair? Mhlongo responded as I would have, and I won't dwell on it, as he had cited, but I must make mention that yes, Mr. Nyatela has been asking and knocking, and obviously he has been ignored that for too long, that he had to come with these tactics of pushing and writing emails and all that. And of course, Chairperson felt like he has been harassing Chairperson for that long. And I believe that in this organization, South African Roadies Association, had been fighting for too long to be recognized, and eventually they did, but still he had to go through some hardships to be able to have a voice. And I think he believed that he thought the portfolio committee of sport and culture is the right platform for him to vent his frustrations. And hence he went on about saying that this portfolio committee is useless because it is not working for the artists and all that. And yes, we are working as a unit, and we try by all means to be fighting for all our people. Yes, Chairperson, I understand that, and I believe that as the Honorable Dennis and the Honorable that space where we deal with these things once and for all with Mr. Nyatela and all that. And Chairperson of this letter that I just saw it this morning, the letter from the NAC, I think it is disingenuous for the writer of the letter to actually condemn Honorable Mhlongo for asking a simple question: what did they do, and what did they say in order for them to be labeled as working under against the gender-based violence and everything like that? And that's what he was asking. And for them to turn around and write, and Mr. Mhlongo the other day that we are conniving behind and doing things. I don't think it is fair for them to be writing letters to. They are the ones who are actually harassing the chairperson instead of doing the right thing and deal with the problem that they are dealing with and face everything. Chairperson, I'm up in the blame.
Thank you, Honorable Mahlingos. I don't see any other hand.
Chairperson?
I'm not. Yes, Honorable Van Dijk. Oh,
Chairperson, I actually put up my hand, but I just want to say that I totally agree with what the previous speaker said. I think it is important that this issue, either way, whether we get the NIC, the Public Protector, and Mr. Nyatela together with the committee, or get a legal opinion. But I think it's really important that we put this matter to rest, because we too receive all these emails, and I think all that needs to be done is we need that this should be concluded and the remedy implemented as the Public Protector suggested. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Van Dijk. I don't see any other hand, except that I don't want to comment further. I've listened And with the letter, I was not able to respond to this letter from NAC. That's why I did bring it to the committee. But I'm still maintaining that we have so many responses to Mr. Nyatela. We have so many in the office, so many letters written to the department to ask them to respond. And as I'm sitting here, the office can have correspondence where a department NAC, they responded, and Mr. Nyatela not happy about the responses. I want to put it to you, honorable members, that Mr. Nyatela has been getting responses, but Mr. Nyatela has been rejected the responses because maybe he wanted the other way response that can satisfy you. As we're getting out of this topic, I will ask the office. I've been looking at the responses from the office of you to my office and the office of Mr. Nkanunu, that they were all responding. We have correspondence confirming responses to Mr. Nyatela, but I cannot lie that in all those responses, he has been agreeing with the responses. So this proposal, which initially proposed by Honorable Denise and the rest, I don't see the office of your chairperson, which is myself, not responded to any. If I can take through the honorable members, when we have a measure of sport, arts and culture, in the first meeting or whatever meeting, I did call the former DG with all the DGs to my office saying that I'm becoming a consulting lawyer in my office. There are so many correspondence. Please, DG, talk to these DGs that they must respond. I can't respond on behalf of the office. Since then, honorable members, I've been no longer having those. The only the correspondence that I'm always getting every now and then, the majority is from Mr. Nyatela. And if we can give the secretariat all the responses from those emails that you know, some other emails of Mr. Nyatela is saying Mr. Tsepo Mhlongo and Nyatela, and we didn't refer those things to Mr. Mhlongo. We just responded to himself as the committee through the department, through NAC. And as I'm sitting here, we have responses. So I'm not talking about the satisfactory responses. I'm talking about the responses which every now and then is writing to us. I'm testifying on that. And if it comes to a push, the department need to have a bite. And even in the last meeting, some of the detailed information that we had, it was because I wrote and I asked the office to write that all the correspondence of Mr. Nyatela, the projects is complaining, they must come to the committee with a full detail. That's why I was so surprised that this member of the public from Friday until yesterday, still doing WhatsApp to me. I tried my best, and I do feel, honorable members, that all what I'm trying on behalf of the public. It doesn't acknowledge any other information, anyone who's responding. And I don't know what does he wants. We do have an office, one, and you write such things that he wrote to me. I felt offended. And all of us during weekends were doing other duties of our parties. But as chairperson, you can't not do the work of the committee, because we must come ready in the committee. These people who are called secretaries, they know they don't have Saturday, they don't have Sundays, because starting from Friday, everything which is getting in, I look at my emails every day, every night, every morning, and I'm preparing. But since Friday, I've been harassed, and I appealed to himself that don't do this, don't write this thing to me. This is not the way of communicating with the chairperson of the committee. But he said he's not going to stop that. And I've got about, let me check, about so many SMSs out of that. I appeal to himself not to do this. So, and there's nothing like that the member of the public, when is having grievances which are genuine, that they must direct you with SMSs and SMS and WhatsApp are not official letters to correspond. So I'm really not accepting, but because I'm a gender activist, I'm strong, and I'm not going to be destroyed by whoever who's thinking that will intimidate me. But I'm reporting to this committee. Thank you so much, honorable members. I don't know whether from the side of the department, anyone want to take in order that now I must continue with the agenda.
Madam Chair.
Sorry, Chair. Chairperson.
Hello.
Sorry,
No,
my
yeah,
love.
but you didn't raise your hands, honorable member. Listen, honorable members, I took all the hands, and I was supposed to respond when all the members have spoken, but I asked, I'm going to agree, and when somebody's sorry, leave me finalize. Honorable members, we must be on alert. All the members who contributed, I've said any other hand, I said it twice, but I'm going to give it.
It was mine in my network, my darling.
Ma'am Kaula, you must learn when somebody's speaking, you don't speak, because I'm not going not to allow, but I'm putting the point. Honorable members, I'm recognizing Mama Kaula, I'm recognizing Honorable Malomane, I'm recognizing Honorable Zondi. I can't take a second bite, honorable members. We still have an agenda. There is a proposal that we must come back with this information sharing. I was doing information sharing. So let's take all the views of honorable members and give it a chance that coming back. And the only thing that I can say that the program of this committee on the 11th of October was proposed adoption by Honorable Mhlongo and was seconded by Honorable Mama Bulo. So on that note, if there's another thing when we are at the end of our meeting, because this, if there anything that we want to propose according to the program. Thank you. Mama Kaula.
Point of exchange, Chair.
You know, I've been a chairperson in the branch, in most of the branches of the organization. Once a member, it agency, he wanted to jump other people who have a hand. Let me not give you, I'll give you after these hands, because in reality, you want to take the second bite. Let me not give you. Let me give Mamuma Kaula.
Thank you very much, because Chair, and now we put follow committee networking again
Okay, Mama.
Yes, my love.
Okay, Mama.
No, into esingiphatha kambi lana fanele sikhulume ngayo. Ihlushwa imoto la. Ilena yokuthi ngiyezwakala Chair.
Yes, Mama, yes, Mama.
No, ile yokuthi kutholakala ukuthi khona mhlambe la thina abangenzi ngendlela efanele nangendlela yokuhlonipha isihlalo ohlezi kusona. Lento iyangithinta kancane because if we are leaders, funeka silide ngendlela nathi sizothanda ukuthi nathi sihlonishwe ngayo. And okwesibili, ngiya-understanda into ibeka ngayo i-weekend kusuke kuyisikhathi sama-constituent la sisuke sibheka khona izinto ze-organization nala sideploye khona. Angazi noma ngizoba ngi-wrong yini mangithi ukuthi ngingene late. Ifanele lolu daba mhlambe lube khona la neluzohanjiswa lobeka khona ngoba njengoba ngikhuluma nawe nje namhlanje kuqalwa inkomfa ye-gender abuse nendlela la kubhekelelwa khona ukungahlonishwa kwabantu besifazane. Ngikusho lokhu ngelikhulu iqholo ngoba njengoba usesihlalweni akufanele thina sibheke ukuthi umuntu wesifazane, sibheke futhi nokuthi kuyiphi organization. Okwethu ukuthi sibheke ukuthi izinto zabantu noma idingo zabantu ziyenzeka yini. Ngiphatheka kambi ngempela ngendlela okwenzakala noma manje sengithola kambi lento lokhu ingikika out. Ibhlungu inhliziyo yami ngoba ngiyacabanga nami lento eseyenzeka kumina. Kufanele ngingenzi into mina ngeke ngithande. Lawo muntu okwazi ukuthi abhale ama-message, abhale ama-WhatsApp. Ngiyacela ukuthi mina kuba bekuya ngami bese ucelwa uxolo ngoba lana singama-leader aku-national ofuna sifundise umhlaba wonke ukuthi kufanele silide kanjani. Ilokho nje okungiphatha kambi. Kufanele sihloniphe ngisho wonke omunye umuntu esikanye naye lapho. Noma ngabe uyabona khona into ekuphethe kambi, kodwa kuyafanele sihloniphane. Ngiyabonga. Ingiphatha kambi lento. Ngiyaxolisa abantakwethu. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngalento indlela yokuhlukumezeka kwabantu besifazane. Ngiyabonga.
Honorable Malomani.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Greetings to everyone. I think maybe on your input, you made a proposal that we are proposing that we have this item be discussed in our committee. So I'm proposing that because now we've entered into discussions of the matter, but the proposal of us having a day that we put this item as an agenda item so that we can discuss it, I'm supporting that one so that we don't dwell much in this item because we've got items to discuss today. My proposal is that we close this item and make sure that we got a day that we are going to discuss this issue as a committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can somebody deal with my veto? I don't know what's going on. Honorable Zondi.
Yes, Chair. Chair, I think I'm seconding Honorable Malumane. Good morning to you and honorable members. I raised my hand sharply after the 1, 2, 3, after the 4 members commented, because when you started to close the debate of the members responding to your remarks, it was said either legal opinion should be considered or convene in any meeting, and I raised my hand because I didn't want to be part of a meeting that does not have one a resolution on a matter. But you concluded a well, Chair, on the correspondence and the harassment by one person. I think, Chair, Honorable Malumane is supporter, because we can't be held up in an item that is not on our agenda for quite some time. So I was worried, Chair. However, on the comment that there are no correspondence. Correspondence were not communique, there were no responses on the communique sent to the committee through you and the secretariat. But I think I'm covered by your closing remarks on the matter, on the consultation of all the correspondence and responses, so that the committee can take a decision based on that. Okuningi isihlalo siyophawula ngaleso sikhathi. But for now, Chair, because before that meeting, Honorable Malumane is proposing, there is a gap in between where you should not be harassed. Chair, asikuvumeli nje, asikusho emnyango. We cannot tolerate a member of public, any member of public, to harass the chairperson or anyone in the committee. But at the same time, we cannot have a committee that does not respond to a secretary. But because there is a proposal that we will deal with the matter, provided these correspondence are proven to us that they were, the NAC will provide those responses, and also the secretariat. I think so ivala lapho, Chair. But from now until that meeting of the committee, siyacela sihlala ngathi kungangaba khona lutho oluphakathi kwakho nanoma ubani-ke on the matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'm sorry that I didn't see your hand, but it's not an issue. Thank you, honorable members. I don't see any other hand now. The matter is referred back to Chairperson that the office will provide, as from today, with the responses. All the responses is one from the office, written to the NAC, to the department, the responses from Sarah, rejecting responses back to the office, and the office written back to those, their responses are rejected. I will provide that to the officers from today. Honorable Mhlongo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm covered with the first one. I'm happy with the proposal from Honorable Dennis, which I've seconded. The letter issue, I think no one will use GPV for me to do my oversight. This letter stately cleared, Guti. I'm intimidated by the council, all members, because I'm a man. Now I cannot ask a woman a question, because I must be a man, I must be polite, or I must say, hi, Chairperson, like for me, I can say to you, you're out of order, Chair. not because you are a woman. Now, I cannot be intimidated when I do my oversight work by an NAC, which they're so corrupt, can quote me, and are running away to answer our question or my question. Now, I cannot be intimidated by that to write several letters. This is the second letter from the chairperson on behalf of the NAC. He did it with Madlingozi. What happened? It was a public display with my name again. Now, I won't allow this tendency of NAC not to account to us, and they're corrupt, and they want me to succumb to the corruption and the issues that are doing, abusing taxpayers' money, using my name. It's totally wrong. Now I'm asking you, Chair, because you have circulated this letter. It's now a public domain again with my name, because they're using gender-based violence. Can we have a meeting with them? Same place as Babunyatel. If he harasses you, this letter harasses me, because the letter is a public, it's on the public platform now. Now I'm saying to you, Chair, I'm proposing, let's have the whole council, female council, not male council, because the letter speaks about intimidation of female staff members and the CEO and the chairperson of the NAC. Let's have all of them. Let's have the transcript of the meeting that I've asked all female members. When I say, why didn't you open a case? Am I intimidating you? When I'm asking you, why didn't you open a case? Is that intimidation? Now I'm proposing, you did it before, let's do it. You've circulated the letter, let's have them back here and they'll account to us with the letter that they've sent as a council. That is my proposal, I've asked for that. Thirdly, Chair, the schedule, point of exigency. I was asking Uti, the schedule here too, did we approve it? Yes or no? I might be wrong. Maybe Friday, the meeting that I did not attend, it was proposed and agreed upon. The schedule here to Chair, I'm still waiting to hear what. And the exigency, Chair, because you've mentioned my name. You said I've proposed something. I was asking, which one did I propose that was exceeded, Chair? Thank you.
I was reporting on the meeting of 11th that we did. Can Jabu get in and say what? Come again. That's what, did you hear me when I was saying that I want to be assisted, because I'm still sitting the way that I was seated. I can't see now. My video is on, and I don't know why this video is doing this. I'm seated where I'm seated. If you did remember, I did say that somebody must look at my video camera. What is going on?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
please try and adjust your iPad again, like you did the first time.
The first time I didn't adjust anything. I've just, because I'm sitting where I'm seated, and then I will just I'll look at it, honorable members, and I do have even a right to switch off this camera, because we have been seeing me. Let me not take your time. I was just saying now, can Zolega and Ujabu talk on about the 11th of last month, where we adopted the our agenda? Say something.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The program was adopted on the 11th of October, and the proposals from Mr. Mhlongo and Mr. Ramabula were included in the program, and it was circulated to members. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable members, I'm now about to go to our agenda. I've listened on all what honorable members are saying, and I'm suspecting if we want some members of any entity to come and account. We won't be selective. We'll call all of them. So we are going to look at the program. Maybe it cannot be this last month that we're having, because honorable members, out of what Honorable Mhlongo is asking, we did put the SAFA in the program, but they are away. And then what else that we said, we can talk at the end of the meeting about the agenda. May I have apologies?
Madam Chair, we have an apology from the Minister and the Deputy Minister. They are both attending a presidential summit on gender-based violence and femicide that started today and will continue tomorrow as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. I wish that we were part of that if we were not having this work, but we know that the work of Parliament comes first, especially the program. I've saw it that I felt that if I can be part of that, something is happening in this country. You cannot believe when an uncle raped a 2-year-old, and when sometimes a woman killed the man and burned it. So I'm suspecting something's very wrong. There are so many things, and as always, when you are going for these 30 days of activism, those brutal killings are in. And really, I'm suspecting once this weekend I was getting this, I was thinking, oh, this is our month, and some other people, they don't know, they just do horrible things in these 30 days of activism. We have apologies of these two leaders. Any other apology?
Chairperson, Honorable Adams, thank you.
Yes,
Chairperson.
Yes, listened. Say something, Honorable Adams. You mean in network is doing this? Honorable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, good morning, and good morning to all on the platform, Chairperson. I noticed on the platform that Honorable Mamubolo is not there. There was yesterday a discussion between the two, and I could pick up in the discussion that he will write exams from this morning, 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
just think of informing you.
In future, honorable members, members reporting to themselves, just forward the apology to the administration. Thank you, Honorable Adams. Honorable members, now can we accept the apologies? No one is saying anything.
Sure.
Yes, Honorable Zond.
Apology accepted,
Yes,
Chair.
Honorable Zond.
Yes, Chair, I'm saying apologies accepted. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Zond. Thank you, Honorable Zond. I don't see any other hand. Apologies accepted. Honorable members, now I'm putting the agenda in front of you. Honorable Adams. Honorable Adams.
Yes, Chair. Chair, it's a legacy, and thank you. My apology.
Honorable members, my honorable members, I put the agenda for adoption in front of you.
Chairperson, may I move for adoption for the agenda? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any second, you are so flat, honorable members. Are you tired?
No, Chair, we are not tired, not at all.
What
I'm
is
seconding
go-
Honorable,
having a
Honorable
attack.
Adams, Chair, on the proposal of the agenda. Thank you.
Honorable Sibia?
No, I was seconding the adoption of the agenda. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, now I'm giving the chance to our department according to the agenda. The agenda has been supported. Now we must go on briefing by the department on the MOU between the Republic of South Africa and Corszáte. Thank you. DDG, acting DG.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members of the committee. Maybe, Chairperson, if I could take this opportunity to introduce the team that is part of this meeting from the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. It's myself, Vusitemba Ndima, and I also have DDG Mandisa Chikwatamba, also DDG Sumaya Khan. I have also the Mr. Ctože Tiamzashe, who is an advisor to the minister, Mr. Rufus Matibe, International Relations, Mr. Lodwick Ralibibi, DG's office, Ms. Nokbong Ramalepe, DG's office, Mr. Simpiwe Mncube, Chief Director in Sport, Mr. Mishak Mbowane, also from Sport, Miss Cleon Noah, also International Relations from the Arts and Culture side of the department. I think those are the colleagues that are here, Chairperson, and I would, without any further waste of time, request that Mr. Mbowane takes the meeting through this Côte d'Ivoire MOU. Through you, Chairperson. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DG.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, and good morning to honorable members. Also, good morning to the acting DDG and DDGs, and also colleagues from the department. Honorable Chair, my name is Mishak Mbowane. I'm the director responsible for international sport liaison in the department. So allow me, Madam Chair, to take you through, and the members of the committee, on the agreement or bilateral agreement between RSA, Republic of South Africa, and the government of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire on the cooperation in the field of sports and physical education. Can I begin, Honorable Chair?
Yes, with pleasure.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Can I go to the second slide of the presentation? Honorable Chair, as I've indicated, I'm going to take you through the agreement between the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire on cooperation in the field of sport and physical education. And Honorable Chair, the date of signing and the entry into force and place of signature of this agreement. The agreement was signed on the 22nd of July, 2022. The place where it was signed in South Africa. In terms of entry into force, this will happen upon ratification by the two countries. Next slide. In terms of the validity period and the date of termination, the validity period, this MOU shall enter into force on the date of the last written notification, and it also shall remain in force for a period of 3 years, after which it shall be automatically renewed for additional five-year period, unless terminated in accordance with sub-article 3. Date of termination, this MOU may be terminated by either party, giving 6 months written notice in advance through diplomatic channel to the other party of its intention to terminate this agreement. Next slide. I just want to give you a background, Madam Chair and honorable members, in terms of this agreement. The government of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire proposed a draft MOU to the government of the Republic of South Africa in 2022. This came as an initiative to develop formal bilateral relations in the field of sport with the desire to deepen cooperation and strengthen bonds of solidarity between the two countries. Therefore, the government of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire relayed a draft MOU to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture through diplomatic channels. The MOU was proposed with the aim to promote the exchange of programs, visits, experience, techniques, information and knowledge between South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire in sport and physical education. That is the background, Madam Chair, for this agreement. The objective, therefore, of this MOU are to enable the parties with the framework of this Memorandum of Understanding to implement programs of cooperation in the field of sports and physical education on the basis of reciprocity and mutual benefit, and also to strengthen and intensify the partnership between the public and private structures of the parties responsible for the development of sports. Next one. The parties shall undertake to cooperate in the following areas, honorable members. And as you will know that each and every agreement that we have in the country, there's areas of cooperation where we agree to now will cooperate with our counterpart. The first one will be the management of sport, and the second one will be the development of coaches in football, also in basketball, rugby, taekwondo, and also athletics. And also the third one is improving the competitiveness of high-level athletes and trainers from both countries in the field of tennis in particular, football, as well as basketball, rugby, and athletes. The exchange of best practices on the development of sports infrastructure, their maintenance, and also their rehabilitation. Cooperation in sports medicine as well, and also the programs for the practice of sport by persons with disabilities. And also the last one will be the promotion of sports practice by women. To continue the areas of cooperation, also to promote the promotion of schools and university sport, and also the development of grassroots sport, the organization of major international competitions, the promotion of educational leisure activities, and also the last one, but not least, the organization of player welfare and anti-doping conferences. In terms of the parties, the two parties shall further cooperate to support and promote and enhance the institutional capacity by granting academic or vocational training for students or trainees, athletes, and sport managers. Sports meetings for national teams and universities, clubs, and teams, as well as jointly prepare for major matches, which is our major international events, and the sporting events of the other as a participant or observer at the invitation of the organization party. And the last one will be the organization of teaching and research missions and the sharing of information and documents relating to sport. In terms of the status of the South African Cote d'Ivoire Agreement, Madam Chair and honorable members, South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire are member countries of the African Union and the United Nations, and they share common views on the biggest global issues facing the world today, thereby formalizing bilateral cooperation in the field of sport and physical education. The two countries also contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, as sport is an enabler of development and peace. Moreover, sports cooperation between South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire played an important role in achieving the goals set out by the National Development Program, the NDP, to eliminate poverty and reduce inequality by 2030. The benefits thereof of collaboration with Côte d'Ivoire, honorable members, it is expected that the formalization of bilateral sport relations will be mutually beneficial to both countries. South Africa and Côte d'Ivoire share similar sporting codes such as football, basketball, athletics, rugby, taekwondo, which can be beneficial to both parties with regard to the exchange program. You remember, as I've indicated earlier on, in terms of the ERAS cooperation, these are some of them that will benefit both countries. The MOU will contribute significantly to both parties collaborating on the hosting of international events in the sporting codes highlighted above. Therefore, the MOU also covers infrastructure management, anti-doping, as well as sports for women and disability and the disabled. In terms of the cost implications, honorable members, all programs of the events held for the purpose of this MOU will be coordinated by the parties in advance, subject to conditions relating to finance. The implementation thereof of this MOU will be dependent upon the availability of funds and resources of the parties. Next slide. In terms of diplomatic relations between SA and Côte d'Ivoire, South Africa and Côte d'Ivoire enjoy a history of friendly diplomatic relations, and the level of cooperation between the two countries has increased significantly over the years. Thereby, the two countries established bilateral relations in May 1992 and have their diplomatic missions in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, and Pretoria, South Africa. Since 1994, a number of high-level visits have taken place between the two countries. In December 2021, the South African President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, undertook a state visit to Côte d'Ivoire to further strengthen political, economic, and social ties between the sovereign states. Next slide. That was the last slide, Madam Chair and honorable members. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, don't you want that you must get to the second briefing in order that when we are discussing, you must take both a presentation? Don't you want us to do that?
That is what we propose, Chair.
Agreed, Chairperson.
Thank you so
Great,
much.
Chair.
Thank you. Honorable DG can give.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you to the members of the committee. Without any further waste of time, I would like to, through you, Chairperson, call upon Mr. Rufus Matibe to take us on the MOU for Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. What is the problem?
Chair, I don't know who is sharing the document. I don't know.
I think that the document is. Oh, I think the document is on the screen now. Once again, Honorable Chairperson, good morning, and good morning to the honorable members. I would be presenting the status of the two agreements or two instruments that have just recently been signed between the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on audiovisual cooperation, and also the co-production, the agreement on cooperation in the fields of arts and culture. This is the program of cooperation, POC, which was for the period between 2022 and 2024. These instruments were signed in December 2021, on the 1st of December 2021, in Abuja, Nigeria, during the state visit by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. And they will enter into force upon ratification by the two countries. The validity of the audiovisual co-production treaty will be for a period of 5 years, whereafter it shall automatically be renewed for a further period of another 5 years, unless terminated in accordance with sub-article 3, which states that a member or a country or party may terminate the agreement through notification of a period of 6 months. And that termination does not necessarily impact on the implementation of those agreements or those activities that will still be under implementation for that duration. And in terms of the POC, it's also for a period of only 3 years, which starts on 2022 up to 2024. And as well, by mutual agreement, the POC may be extended, or a U1 with new program of areas may be implemented, and is valid as well for the period of 2022 to 2024. The diplomatic relations between South Africa and Nigeria, which is cordial, started way back in 1999 with the establishment of the Binational Commission. The Binational Commission also gave way to the signing of agreement of cooperation in the areas of arts, culture, and heritage in 2001. There have been a number of activities between the two countries. We can indicate here that when South Africa and Nigeria celebrated the 10th anniversary of the Binational Commission, the department led cultural activities in Nigeria. And I can also indicate that there is a delegation from South Africa that just returned yesterday that participated.
Mr. Malomani, switch off your mic. I'm sorry.
It is okay, Madam Chair. So then,
can you assist us? Zolega or Jabu, can you just switch off the mic for Honorable Maloman? It's still on. I don't know why.
Madam Chair,
Maloman.
I think there's a problem with the mic, Madam Chair. I can't switch it off. So she must maybe try and log out and then log in again, but I'll speak to her, Chair.
Can you call her aside? Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just indicating that there have been a number of engagement between South Africa and Nigeria in the area of arts, culture, and heritage. One of which is just the recent participation by South Africa during the Lagos Fashion Week. South Africa participated last weekend, and they just came back, which was well received. South African designs were well received. The government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, through the Department of Sports, has been engaging with its counterpart, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, on issues relating to the implementation of the agreement of cooperation in these areas since 2000. The engagement have led to the signing of specific agreement on co-production of audiovisual material and the program of implementation for the cultural agreement for the years 2022-2024. The purpose of this agreements are to consolidate, broaden, and strengthen the friendly ties and reciprocal understanding between the two countries by working towards co-producing films, documentaries, and other related audiovisual material. Identifying projects for implementation of the Agreement of Cooperation in the fields of arts, culture, and heritage for the years 2022 to 2024. And above all, the agreements will serve as the legal framework to enable both countries to celebrate, exchange knowledge and skills in the broader areas of arts, culture, and tell their own stories. The parties, which is South Africa, through the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, and Nigeria, will cooperate in the following areas: participate in the co-production of audiovisual material, cooperation between the National Archives of South Africa and the National Archives of Nigeria through the exchange of visits and joint workshops in conservation, restoration, preservation of films, documentaries, and oral tradition and digitization. Participation in each other's carnival. Balea Rona have been participating in the annual Abuja Carnival and would like to extend the participation by other carnivals around the country, South Africa. Participate in each other's technical seminars, exhibitions, and conferences on the development of cultural industries. This includes music, craft, fashion, and performances. Participate actively in programs supported by the Africa World Heritage Fund and other regional and continental entities. So using the strength of our bilateral relations, we will encourage each other to assist with the funding and any material support to these organizations in the continent. Training in strategic heritage conservation of practicing heritage professionals to be offered by Nigeria to South Africa. We have accepted this offer because it's going to benefit the sector significantly. Professional knowledge exchange and dialogue between the South African Heritage Resource Agency and Cultural and Heritage Institutions of Nigeria through joint virtual workshops. In the efforts to comply with the constitutional provision, the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture undertook the following. The department have thus far submitted 2 international agreements for the purpose of tabling in the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. The agreements were thus tabled and feedback that this went through was received in March 2022. And on receiving the go-ahead by the NCP and the National Assembly, we have since forwarded a diplomatic note to communicate to the Nigerian counterpart that we have fulfilled our obligation to ratify these 2 agreements, which means from our side, the agreements can enter into force. I should indicate that unfortunately, there hasn't been a positive feedback in terms of the Nigerian process to ratify. We have made numerous requests to speed up the process through diplomatic channel, and we are still waiting for the Nigerian authorities to feedback and indicate their state of readiness so that we can start implementing these 2 instruments. In terms of cost implications, all programs of the events held for the purpose of these agreements will be coordinated by the parties in advance, subject to conditions relating to finance stipulated in both agreements. So we will always engage and access the availability of necessary resources and agree on what needs to be done and by who, by when, within the framework of those 2 agreements that we have indicated. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, honorable members. That's now. Can I give it to you, honorable members, time to engage with the 2 presentations? I've seen the hand of Honorable Joseph. Honorable Joseph, Honorable Sibia, Honorable Adams, Honorable Veronica, Honorable Zondi. In that order, honorable members. Go on, Honorable Adams. Honorable Dennis.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you for the presentations. I just would, I'll switch my video off, Chairperson. For
Okay, no
the
problem.
communication. I don't know what, be honest, this sports taekwondo, referring now to RSA and Côte d'Ivoire, the first presentation. I'm not sure what that sport is. I would like to know if there's a record of our universities reaching out or interaction between our universities and South Africa, or Africa and South Africa in sports, arts and culture. And if there's agreements on doping, it refers to player welfare and anti-doping conferences. I would like to know if there's any record of that. It was said sport is an enabler of peace, but I know Africa with the wars, ongoing wars. I would like to know how do we link that, or there is an impact on our NDP 2030 goals that refers to inequality and eliminate poverty. So I would like to know if we experience that in our industry. If there's obstacles due to the ongoing wars in certain countries, and yeah, obviously it will obviously affect our sustainable development goals. Chairperson, just a comment, the cost implications, if I understand correctly, it's subject to budget or available budget. So I would like to know what is our government's contribution in the department relating to the budget to give the MOU between us and Côte d'Ivoire significant status. And then I would like to know that the diplomatic relations, the high-level visits of the president referred to in 2021, if our ministry and our departmental senior officials was part of that visit, because most of the visits that we hear on news is about economic growth and trade relations and so on. This one is specifics, for our department. So I would like to know, what is our record of these visits where the president goes to other countries, and that our memorandum of understandings is included in these visits. And then, Chairperson, on the arrangements with the Republic of Nigeria, I would like to know if there's a database of organizations but in business with the arts and the culture and the sports industry that indicates to what the trade is, and what the if there's any research of the economic impact and contribution that our department and this memorandum of understanding or agreements, that bring what economic benefits, spin-offs it brings to the two countries. And also my last question, Chairperson, is if DIRCO is also involved in these arrangements, or facilitating some of these arrangements where we need to grow the economy indirectly between the signed agreements. I am concerned that we say, again, in the second presentation also, there's cost implications. And I would like to hear from the department. I would like to hear them saying, despite that agreement, from our side, we've made sufficient budgetary provisions to make sure that these arrangements and agreements that we sign can be implemented. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Dennis. Honorable Smee.
Thanks, Chairperson. Greetings to everyone. Thanks for both presentations. On the first presentation, there is a slide talking about areas of cooperation. Indigenous games and sports are not promoted for mainstreaming and are usually confirmed to the country. My question is, how does that department factor in indigenous sports as an aspect of cooperation to promote and develop indigenous sports to be enjoyed by the globe? I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Sebia. Honorable Adams.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning to all on the platform. Chairperson, also thank you for the presentations. Chairperson, my questions will be, first one, the agreement between the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on audio-visual co-production was signed in 2000, which means this cooperation is still in effect and has also led to another cooperation agreement, which is yet to be affected. My question, what notable activities have been undertaken within the cooperation signed in 2000 in the past 5 years? And Chairperson, my next question, when does the department envision the functioning of the cooperation activities on the agreement on cooperation in the field of arts and culture for the years 2022 and 2024, and the agreement between the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Republic of Corszáte on cooperation in the field of sport and physical education? And my last one, Chairperson, when does the department envision the functioning of the cooperation? Now, I did ask that one. Thank you, Chairperson. I will stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adams. Honorable Van Dijk.
Thank you, Chairperson. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. My questions are as follow. The MOU proposed with the aim to, that's on the first presentation, to promote the exchange of programs, visits, experience, techniques, etc. I want to know, does the department have a record of how many of our schools actually still offer physical education, and what specifically does that entail? The MOU between the Department of Education and Sport has not been implemented yet after being signed in 2012. It came to an end this year after 10 years. It looked good on paper, but not the implementation part. And for me, it seems if there's not really a relationship between the schools and this department, because it's the same schools that have sport. So my concern lies in the fact that we are failing at home, but enter into agreements. But maybe the department can give us feedback on the assessment for us to see what worked in the past locally and what did not. And if we can maybe request if this possible assessment can be made available if it has actually been done. With regards to the budget to school sport and the Department of Education, it does not seem as if I could not really pick up if the department is actually giving money to school sport except for the provinces. And I want to know also in this regard, are we benchmarking with other countries to see what model can be used to improve our development on school level, and then also grassroots level to develop the sport on grassroots level in South Africa? how do we get, how do we address this to get workable solutions with regards to the improving of development of school sport level? Then on slide 8, again, on the cooperation, the development of the coaches in football, basketball, rugby, etc. How will this work on grassroots level? The MOU also covers infrastructure management, anti-doping, and sport for women. What sport codes for women will be included here? How many people will directly benefit by this MOU? Will it be mostly people from the department, or are there external bodies? And if is there maybe a list of those identified that will participate in these relationships between the different countries? And then the diplomatic relations between South Africa and Nigeria. On slide 5, the department participated in the Lagos Fashion Week. Can we maybe get more info on it? I want to know why it says the department participated. Slide 9, I want to know how many people will undergo training in strategic heritage conservation for practicing heritage professionals to be offered by Nigeria to South Africa. Again, how many people will directly benefit by the MOU? Will it mostly be the department, or are there external bodies, lists of people that that were identified to participate? That will be all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Van Dijk. Honorable Zondi.
Yes, Honorable Chair. Chair, we welcome both the presentation from our guest and the department. Chair, Nigeria is a country which has been promoting its culture and arts around the world. Creative arts in Nigeria have a global outlook in the promotion of the arts, such as music, literary works, clothing, textiles, and many other arts. How is the cooperation promoting the collaboration of artists from the two countries? And are there any collaboration from artists from both countries to strengthen friendship amongst the nations and to promote knowledge sharing? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Zondi. The next Honorable member is Honorable Mhlongo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I don't have any words to say, but thank you for your presentation, and we welcome the relationship with other countries and noting its financial implication. Chair, because my colleagues have covered, I don't want to repeat the same question.
Yes.
The minister is not here, but maybe the DDG will, acting DG will answer this question. There's a festival, Chair, which was supposed to be done in KwaZulu-Natal regarding floods. They were calling it Arise Benefit Concert, and it was possible if they're going to pursue that concert. It calls Arise in Concert, and it was hosted, or it's supposed to be hosted or facilitated by the so-called NAC. And can they give us details if the DG is aware of that? Because people of KwaZulu-Natal to date, they're still living in a squalor after the floods, and we want things to be done. Even the department promised to do that. I wanted to find out, because there's an article why did they consult with the Daily Sun? Because after the newspapers wrote that article was a failure because it did not succeed, but there was commitment that that festival or concert will be a success. DG, maybe can you give us more details? But thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mhlongo. Honorable Malomane.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let me first apologize about my mic first. I did have challenges. You know, if we are a leader and everyone comes to your house while you are busy, let me just apologize for that first thing. My question, it will be based on to say, how does the cooperation promote economic opportunities for artists who participate in the activities, and what monetary value has been realized because of the cooperation? So the other one is about the participants in the cooperation, and how does the department ensure the geographic spread to participants for the agreement on cooperation in the field of arts and culture for education concerning the agreement between the government of the Republic of South Africa and government of the Republic of Cոte d'Ivoire on the cooperation in the field of sports, physical education? What is the target number of participants in the cooperation? Of how does the department ensure there is the geographical spread of participants? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ramon. I've got one question to ask to the department. Thank you for 2 presentations. My question is going to go like this. The South Africa and Nigeria have a shared history, which is part of the heritage of the 2 nations and the continent. How will the program of cooperation between the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the implementation of the agreement and on cooperation in the field of arts and culture for the years 2022-2024? Also in your presentation, would love to have an information about the South Africans who presented us in the African designer in Nigeria. You know, we know so many women who are doing these projects. So want maybe that we must get information of the designers, like we've got about 9 provinces. How did you pick and get those designers? Would love to see, and maybe love to have an information of our own designers in our country. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I will allow colleagues to respond to questions, but maybe it's very important that I forthrightly respond to Honorable Mhlongo's question by indicating that I do not have information ready for the question that he has asked. If he can just give me an opportunity to gather that information so that I do not mislead the Parliament. That's one point that I wanted to make. And then Honorable Joseph, I don't know whether was asking about the sport itself, the nature of the sport, Taekwondo. I wanted just to, because if that was the question, it's just part of the martial arts, but that's the sport that is highly entrenched in Korea. It's well known there. And it's actually being practiced there. But of course, as a sport, it has spread all over. And that's why even in Côte d'Ivoire, it's one of the sports that is highly liked. Just to indicate also, Honorable Chairperson and members, that that's why we've put the issue of cost implications, because it's about collaboration. And it's about agreeing on the implementation plan. Under the circumstances, we normally look at what are the things that we can, the quick wins, what are the things that can be achieved using little resources before maybe we go to big things that would even require more resources, but colleagues are going to talk to those issues. I noted that there were issues regarding the physical education in schools, and I would request that colleagues, DDG Sumaya, can talk to those issues, the collaboration between the two countries, Nigeria in particular, and South Africa, of artists, as asked by Honorable Zondi, and the other questions that were asked by honorable members. If I could allow colleagues to come in and start responding to those questions.
Thank you, Ctože. Responses to the presenters.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edgy, and thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good morning to you and good morning to the members and to colleagues. Madam Chair, just to respond quickly, I think DG has spoken about the code of Taekwondo to indicate that it is a form of martial arts, but very high contact. It is also an Olympic code of sport. It's characterized by high impact punching, kicking. So it is quite popular in South Africa as well. We have a federation that is recognized that deals with it. And yes, in terms of our agreement, that is what has come out in terms of discussions with the Cոte in terms of the code of sport. We note also, Madam Chair, the cost implications and subject to what government's contribution is. Madam Chair, you will note that the MOU was signed in July 2022. It has been presented to our Parliament, who have noted it and has been verified. We are still waiting for Cոte to do the same on their side. And hence, for us to do any of the implementation is subject to Cոte also signing off and sanctioning the MOU in terms of their Parliament as well. So there are details which we may not be able to finalize now, subject to the fact that we have not budgeted for it in this financial year, but we are already having discussions. There are things you can do that do not have financial implications. So we are working on an implementation plan around that, which we will then share with our counterparts once they finalize their processes, Madam Chair. And then with regard to the links to the Sustainable Development Goals, I think, Madam Chair, and that's where the issue of physical education comes in as part of the Sustainable Development Goals. I think there are many, many countries, both in Africa and around the world, who have signed what we called the Kazan Action Plan. And the Kazan Action Plan speaks about the promotion of physical education. So I would believe that that is also going to be part of the implementation plan with regard to the SDPs. I think also, Madam Chair, that, unfortunately, the Cոte is not part of the Commonwealth, but at the Commonwealth ministers' meetings, they have agreed to the implementation of aspects of the Sustainable Development Goal that speaks to sport. So that can be shared with Cոte as part of the agreement, as much as they are not part of the Commonwealth family. Madam Chair, with regard to the Indigenous Games, we note that, Madam Chair, it's something that we're looking across the board. It may not find expression here in this document, but I think what we're looking at, Madam Chair, is, yes, Indigenous Games are, different countries have different Indigenous Games. We found that even with the other countries, that there are Indigenous Games. We may call it something, it may be called by another name in other countries. So in the discussion, we'll need to look at it. But I think for us, Madam Chair, the Indigenous Games is a great way of making sure that we get masses to participate. It's and to actually look at it as exhibition, as being part of a festival. So we will look at where there are similarities of games. They may have different names, but we're also looking at how do we share what is indigenous to us as South Africa and what is indigenous to Cոte, to look at it as, around a festive atmosphere and a festive offering. Madam Chair, we note Honorable Adams and the function and cooperation in the field of sport and physical education. As I've indicated, we are still in the process of finalizing those implementation plans. On the issue of the school sport MOU, the question asked by Honorable Van Wyk, yes, we do not have a database as yet. We are working with the Department of Basic Education, and not all schools. It is true that not all schools offer physical education based on the fact that firstly, you need the human resource aspect where you need qualified educators to teach it. And also the infrastructure that is required. You will note, Madam Chair, that school physical education is part of life orientation, which is a basket of services that's offered to young learners at schools. And unfortunately, because of the expertise that may not be available, not all schools offer physical education as a standalone subject. But we are working with the Department of Basic Education. We do also have, our own reports to indicate that mainly physical education is offered in the former Model C schools. And that also has an impact on transformation. So that we are working on. With regard to the MOU between the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture and the Department of Basic Education, the first MOU was signed in 2011. It was then it was a 5-year MOU. And in 2018, we signed 2012, and then in 2018, we signed a new the MOU took effect from 2012, and then we signed a new MOU in 2018. That MOU is still in place, Madam Chair. It expires in 2020. We have already a draft MOU, almost final MOU. Now that we're a Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, the MOU speaks to both the aspects of school sport and also those aspects of culture and heritage that are offered within the school's environment. So it's an all-encompassing MOU. With regard to the implementation, Madam Chair, of the MOU, between education and the former Department of Sport and now the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, there were various areas that there was cooperation included. And there were very clear roles and responsibilities of the different, of the Department of Basic Education and ourselves. For example, you would look at the different levels of the programs. If you look at level 1, which is your school level, your mass participation, your local competitions where schools in the same area take part in competitions. Then you have the circuit competitions where your top schools within a locality compete. And then you have your, so those are the areas that the Department of Basic Education is presently rolling out. Not all schools may be part of that program. All schools have to register to be a part of the school sport program. So it's based on the schools that register. And then you have district competitions and your provincial eliminations, which the provincial departments of sport take care of. And then your national championships, which is hosted by ourselves, the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, together with the National Department of Basic Education. So that is the rollout of that's how the program is rolled out in terms of roles and responsibilities. And in terms of the program, we have a support for the school sports codes. There's also the schools leagues programs. We also have an athlete development pathway strategy where we, in the competition, we identify talented athletes, and then they go into the sports focused schools, and some of them are also eligible for the ministerial sports bursaries. There's equipment and attire that we provide to the schools, so that is in the MOU, so we are delivering on that as well. And there's capacity development that is provided through the provinces through the conditional grant funding, and that capacity development is for the training of coaches and technical officials and administrators in the school sport program. We will, Madam Chair, provide once we have information from the Department of Basic Education around schools that still offer a physical education. The other issue around the codes of sport that will be part of the cooperation, as I've indicated, Madam Chair, we have codes of sport that are in the MOU already, and the implementation plan has still to be finalized. And I think, you know, how it will happen and how we collaborate is still work in progress. With regard to benchmarking with other countries in terms of school sport, Madam Chair, we have had an MOU with the United Kingdom in terms with UK Sport and the Youth Sports Trust. We will renew that, where we've had the school sport program, we've had programs of training sports leaders. So that was, and we've had educators who have traveled to the UK in terms of twinning agreements with the schools in the UK, and also for them to attend a school sports conference. So that has happened in terms of the MOU. We are in discussions with the UK to look at, you know, renewing it, because things have also changed in the UK. But at the same time, Madam Chair, during the World Cup, as part of the legacy, we've had cooperation with the German government. The agency was called GIZ, and they've had they've given opportunities to NGOs and even schools in South Africa to be especially around football development, because it was World Cup, football World Cup. And we've had teams, and we've had our sports federation, SAFA, that was part of the school's visit as well, the visit to Germany post the World Cup, to actually report back and to look at how they collaborate further. So those are some of the benchmarks that we have been involved in, Madam Chair. And also there's been twinning between schools. Many of the schools that have been part of the sports focused schools, especially those schools that are better resourced, have committed to twinning agreements within schools in the townships. So that is an ongoing relationship that the sports focused schools have at the moment. Madam Chair, that's my contribution. I have Mr. Nube, who's also on the platform, and he may also want to make a contribution. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable TTG. Somaya. Nube. Mr. Nube.
Maybe Chairperson, in the absence of Mr. Mnube, I would propose that the presenters, both Mr. Mbowane, in areas that could have been left out in the response, responses, they can come in. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, DG.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you to the acting DG. I think there was one question, if my memory still serves me well, from Honorable Joseph, where he asked about whether DECO is involved in the facilitation of these agreements. Yes, of course, in whatever we do, before we sign an agreement, we engage DERCO, the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor, and we also engage the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, OXLA as well, Office of the Chief State Law Advisor, to advise us in terms of the legality within these agreements. Once that is done, and we'll have to send it to our counterpart to concur on what is in the table for the two agreements. Then we proceed in terms of soliciting the presidential minutes through our department, where the minister has to give us that authority, then to ask the president to give the minister to sign the agreement. So those processes through diplomatic channels are being done. And also in terms of the implementation plan, those are the kind of processes that we follow. As DDG Sumaykan has indicated, the agreement is tabled in Parliament, and we receive a notification that was tabled on the 28th of September 2022, wherein we now waiting for our counterpart to also do the same. Then it will then enter into force. So once that is done, I mean, we'll start with the implementation plan for the agreement. So I think let me respond on that, DG and Honorable Chair, in terms of the processes of signing the agreement. I thank you.
Chair, if we could, through you, Mr. Matibe can come through. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I think more issues raised are covered. Maybe just 3 or 4 issues that I feel could be elaborated on. One, which is on the issue of the impact of these agreements on the economy. I think an agreement with a country like Nigeria, by virtue of its size alone, is a great opportunity for South Africa to present on the Nigerian market their cultural goods and services, but also in terms of skills development, because we really need the skills that they have to be imparted to particularly our young players in the sector. But also important is the issue of these agreements allows for people-to-people contact, which will address a number of continental and social ills that we see happening once we start appreciating the diversity of the African continent. So there are those direct benefits that we can look at. In terms of which particular areas that this agreement will be looking at for the next 3 years, we have identified the creative arts, we have identified heritage, also the archive. In terms of the number of people who will benefit, since most of these activities, particularly the archive training on digitization, on restoration, will be happening in South Africa, we are able to have a bigger number of people participating because it's going to be happening here. But all in all, the beneficiaries of these agreements are the general public of South Africa and the stakeholders that we do have. There was a direct question which relates to the participation in the Lagos Fashion Week. There was a call, open call for designers who are interested to participate. And there was a panel of 5 judges, and CEDA was also part of that, those judges who evaluated and nominated the 3 participants. And those participants who participated is Imprint, that's Mzukusi Mbane. There was also Mankus, Tando Nduli, and Ezoketu, which is Numpumelelo Dlamini. Those are the 3 South Africans who participated, and they were identified by a panel of judges, including CEDA. I think that I think I would pause there unless there is something that honorable members feel was not really responded to sufficiently. We would go back and really look at it closely. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much to you too, DJ.
Thank you, thank you, Chair. We will pause here unless honorable members they want to maybe engage more. Thank you.
Honorable members, I'm seeing the hand of Honorable Mhlongo.
I apologize. I sincerely apologize. Network problem. Did my question been answered? If yes, thank you. But another question directly to you, Chair. I think Minister Age Komangela and the Amanyama question Afunayen. I've asked that question in our previous meeting. When are we going to have a permanent DG? And I think can you pursue it on our behalf? Thank you.
They did respond, the acting DDG and the who's that DM that they are giving the acting DG. Is it 3 months or what? Please repeat what the response was, because on that day, Honorable Mhlongo was having the load shedding and that question was responded. Can any DDG respond on that question? It was raised and responded. It was 3 months or 6 months that the acting DDG, and then they will come back to you or to us. But if Honorable Mhlongo want a written response, but they did respond. Acting DG.
Thank you, Chairperson and honorable members. Can I maybe direct that question to DDG Chikwatamba, Corporate Services? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and honorable members in all. I hope I caught the question correctly. There's something not working very well with my sound, and I hope I'm audible on your side. Yes, we did respond to the question last time to indicate that the provision that has been made now for acting DG is a provision of 6 months. And we are hoping that within the 6 months, we shall have pushed through that process as we have not been with the DG from September towards the mid-September, towards the end of September. We started the process of preparing what we need to prepare before we go for advertising the position. So there is a submission already en route. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you, Mandisa. Thank you, acting DG. In that note, honorable members, there are no other issues. Let me take this opportunity to thank you, Department of Sports and Arts. As the committee, I'm going, maybe before you leave us, I was going to propose to the members, as we've adopted our agenda, that I feel, honorable members, that there's a lull on the netball. I've asked the secretariat of our committee, honorable members, that on the 25th, allow us as chairperson office to call netball and the organizers to come and report to us. It's been a long time that we were not with them, and that time we were giving them time because they were saying that they are hands-on doing preparation. But we can't just keep quiet as this committee, as if there's nothing is coming in our country. You must remember during the 2010, the vibe that was there. And now we don't even have COVID per se, but nothing is happening, let alone that we didn't call them. We last called them then, but nothing in the country it's happening. It was my feeling, and I wanted that it must be endorsed in front of you, the department, by my committee, that I've asked that on the 25th, let's call the people to come and talk to us, and we want to feel it. Before I release you, honorable members, I'm having this proposal to you.
Chairperson,
Yes, Honorable Mhlongo.
I support your proposal. Elect.
Any other second?
Second, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Adams. With that, the department, please fast track that on the 25th, yourself and relevant stakeholders who are preparing for a World Cup netball. Really, we don't feel it. DDG, acting DG, that's
Thank you.
my
Thank you.
closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. We've
Just a
noted the
moment.
closing remarks.
Just a moment,
Have-
Honorable.
Okay.
Honorable Mhlongo, is your.
Chair,
is-
can
is
we
it-
ask the board, not only, last time they don't come fully fledged house, can we have fully fledged house of netball
That's what I'm saying.
organizers?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Everyone who's involved in this project, want them in the committee to come and brief us. Thank you. Yes, DG.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. We have noted that directive. We will indeed prepare as per the directive, and all members of the board will then be informed that there is this invitation for the 25th of November. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you, you are released. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Honorable-
Chair, and thank you to all the honorable members. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting DG. Honorable members, we have how many sets? Is one set of minutes?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's one.
Remember that I read one set. I'm presenting these last minutes of our committee of the 25th. Honorable members can go up.
Page 7, Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable Dennis.
Where there's funding call outcomes that I just wanted to look at all that figures on page 7. Yeah, there. That one, Chairperson. The grand total.
Yes.
No, yeah, no, sorry, it's the other one. Yeah, that one. Sorry, Chairperson. It's not that one. It's the next one.
Not next one, the other one in front.
Yeah, it's the one that starts with 172,280 craft, dance, literature, multidiscipline. PSP 3 call outcomes. I think it's the very last. Yeah, that one, Chairperson. Now, just at the end there, the grand total, there's a 1 there. That all the figures is naught, but there's a 1, so that should be a naught as well. Yeah, okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable member. Honorable leaders of the committee. I'm seeing the hand of Honorable Mhlongo.
Chairperson, I'd like to apologize. There's a meeting, Chair, which I did not attend. It was on Friday meeting. And I was not notified because at that time, because I left the meeting as proposed for a schedule, I was not aware that that meeting was successful. And I've sent notes to both Zolega and Ajabulile. Now, can my apology be noted based on that I did not get an invite and I was not aware attending
Which
our
invite?
meetings? If there's no apology under my name, can I've send them those notes, please, Chair? I'm not sure if they've corrected that apology.
Zoleka and we're on the minutes and we need to entertain what Honorable Mhlongo is saying. Zoleka or Jabu, do you understand what is Honorable Mhlongo is saying?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's the meeting of the 14th, I think it's Friday, the 14th of October.
What are you saying, Zo, about that?
I'm not sure, Chair, how it happened that Mr. Brown did not receive the invite, but we did send the invite, but we will note his apology.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, can anyone adopt these minutes?
Chairperson,
Yeah, what's that?
In the hand of Honorable Zondi.
Ngiyabonga sihlalo. Bengiphakamisa ukuthi siyamukele le mzuzu. Ngiyabonga.
I've seen the hand of Honorable Malomane.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm seconding Honorable Zondi with the corrections.
On that note, honorable members, thank you so much about your time and about your contribution in your committee, and hoping that the Secretariat, as from today, will start to get information from the department, from the NAC, from the Speaker, from the Public Protector, and as a committee, will come as a committee and reflect on that information. And that information must be circulated to honorable members, and then we'll call the meeting like that. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you.
Ngibonga.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Goodbye.
Bye, colleagues. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.
Bye, colleagues.